All right, so we're about to start. Hey, maestro. So I don't think there's any lag right now, right? I guess you could hear me almost in real time. Awesome. All right. Now, let me just see if the chat is coming through. Okay. All right, so the chat seems to be coming through. So I guess this is what you're seeing. Hey, Akash. Yeah, so uh, we don't have any lag. I think you guys are hearing me well, and everything seems to be working smoothly, I would say. Hello, Dan Popa. Let's see. All right, so if you guys have any questions related to cybersecurity, you can just ask them here in the chat. And my vision for tonight's live stream, which should be, I guess, less than an hour, is to just go through a couple of these Python coding exercises or challenges, and then maybe we could do a challenge on attack defense, some sort of cybersecurity like real life or real world scenario. Either one of these challenges, we're gonna go with the latest editions. So whichever you want, we'll go through one of these. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully at least one of them. You're right. Why isn't this coming through? Okay, so let's start with EDA bit. So I have this, we're gonna start with EDA bit, but I had this here which was pinned. This is a list of bug bounty write-ups. So if you want to get into bug bounty, make sure to read. I mean, these are like hundreds of references of write-ups for bug bounties starting 2012, and this would get you a good idea of how other people find bugs in public programs such as Facebook, for example, here, and they're being rewarded like $1,000, $3,600, and stuff like that. So make sure to read this, because this is one of the best ways to learn bug bounty, by actually reading someone else's write-ups and actually seeing how they found bugs, actually seeing their mindset or their approach towards finding bugs. Okay, so so you're saying that you found a reflected SSS on a website, but payload is executed. When I go to inspect element and insert the payload, any reason will it count as a bug? From what I know, I'm not that very versed with XSS. I want to learn more about it, but not all the programs. I mean, quite a few programs accept reflected SSS. If they don't have a specific scope or a specific description of the program, I mean, they should have, since they have a public bug bounty. Make sure to read that and see what it's saying with respect to what kind of vulnerabilities they accept. If they accept reflected SSS and you are sure that that's reflected as XSS, then you should actually write a solid report and send it over. Hopefully this is helpful. Akash. So let's go to the first challenge here. So this is Python. This is a very easy challenge. So let's see how easy it is. It says, imagine you run a website that presents users with different coding challenges in easy, medium, hard, where users get points. An easy challenge is 5 points, a medium is 10 points, and a hard one is 20. Create a function that takes in the number of each challenge and calculates the user's total number. Okay. Keep in mind that a user cannot complete negative challenges, so the function should return the string invalid if any of these past parameters are negative. Okay, so this is a condition that we have to keep in mind. We need not to have any parameters that are negative. So let's go. Score calculator. So in this case, we would actually have to multiply each of these, the easy one with 5, the medium one with 10, and the hard one with 20. And we should start with the condition of if easy or medium or hard is smaller than 0, we should return invalid. I think so. Okay. Let's actually put this into parentheses. And then we'll simply return. This should be a simple one. Easy times 5 plus medium times 10 plus hard times 20. Let's see. So I'm pressing Control Enter to check. So it's actually a freaking string. Okay, Control Enter. Small caps. 15 should equal invalid. Let's see. This would be test 3. Okay. So what is wrong here? So the function should return the string invalid if any of the past parameters are negative. So this is negative, and it should take hey Cyberglitch. So back here, if easy or medium or hard is smaller than 0, what if we don't use the parentheses? Let's see. Test 1 invalid should equal to 180. So why is this? Why is this taken as negative? If easy, medium, or hard. if easy or medium or hard smaller than 0. What am I doing wrong here? What do you say, guys? So, easy 5 points. This is invalid if any of the past parameters are negative. And I said it's smaller than 0. So if easy or medium or hard smaller than 0, return invalid. Let's actually use an else here and then return easy plus medium plus blah blah blah. "15 should equal invalid. Test 3. Interesting. What am I missing? If easy or medium or hard smaller than 0, and now it fails the first one. Let's actually do them one by one. The most explicit. So if easy smaller than 0, return invalid. Let's do an elif medium smaller than 0, return invalid. Elif hard smaller than 0. I guess the or was okay, or is it or like this? We could try that as well. Let me actually delete this and do that. If easy or, I believe this is how you write or in Python. Might be wrong. Or medium or hard smaller than 0, then we return invalid. Let's actually put them into parentheses. Maybe this is not the right way to go about it. Yeah. So this is the or, but the literal or, this should go as well. I don't know why it doesn't work with or. Because with and, whenever you are using and, it usually takes it as and it takes this end and this end, so both of them. But anyways, proceed further, shall we? Let's pick another very easy one that seems to be very complicated. Okay. Alright. Remove the first and last characters. Create a function that removes the first and last characters from a string. For words with 2 or fewer letters, return the string itself. See example 4, like this one. Okay, so we should start with that conditional. If len txt is smaller than 2, return txt. 2 or fewer letters, return the string itself, so that should be explicit enough. And then what we need to return, so we have to strip the string from the first and the last character. So in this case we're actually going to split the string, so we're gonna return txt. Let's actually open a Python console to experiment. So let's say we have a string text equals to hello world cyber, to make it more specific, and then we'll say text all the way from the first character to the second to the last. Yeah, I guess this would be it. So since we know that in Python numbering starts at character 0, the 0 with character is H in this case, so hello world, and the last character would be R. So if we do 0 all the way to the end, it's the entire string. If we just do 0 semicolon, it still does that. If we do 0 minus 1, all the way up to the last character, not including the last character, minus 2 to the second to the last. So our answer would be 0 semicolon, or 1 all the way to the minus 1. Should be good in theory. Should equal 2. And this is let's actually say or txt equals empty. Let's see if it's gonna take the or in this case. I believe we're not being allowed to pass because an empty string has not been included in our if, but it should have been included because an empty string is a string that has length less than 2. Yeah. What if we say or okay, so that wasn't the error, I guess. If length text is smaller than 2, we return the text. Else, do we really need to be that specific? So it doesn't pass one of the tests. Smaller with 2 or fewer. So if we say this is not 2 or fewer, this is 1 and 0. So smaller than or equal to 2. Simple mistakes. Yeah, so that was it. Go to the next one. What do you mean, Madeline? With the pop and the shift? Is that what you would be using in JavaScript? Okay, let's do another one. Compound interest. I hate these long descriptions. So suppose that you invest for 10 years at an interest rate compounded monthly. What would be the value of your investment at the end of the 10-year period? Create a function that accepts the principal P, determine years T, the interest rate R, the function that returns the value at the end of the rounded to the nearest cent. So you have the principal, you have the number of years, you have the interest rate, and compounding periods per year. This is the N. So what's actually the formula for compounding interest? Note that the interest rate is given as a decimal. So this is actually 6%. Yeah, see the resource for the interest formula and more information. So we need the compound interest formula, which is sweet. So let's actually put this into Python. This is simply return what? Okay, so return the principal times, so P times 1 plus interest rate over the number of periods, 1 plus R over N, and this is gonna be raised to the power of NT, to the power of N times T. Is it like this? I would think so. Let's see. Okay, so it said rounded to the nearest cent. What is it that we've got? 26. Yeah, so we should round this to 2 decimal places. So we're gonna use the round formula or the round method, which is already in Python. Round, I believe it's the second parameter is the number of decimal places that you have to specify. Let's see. Yep, that was it. How many minutes are we in? Let's see. 26 minutes. So tell me guys, is the stream coming through alright? Do I still have, or is there any lag or any buffering? Do you experience interruptions as YouTube is telling me here? Let me know in the chat. Shall we do another Python challenge, or shall we jump into attack defense labs? Maybe it's gonna take more than 20 minutes to do one of these challenges. What do you say? Let me know in the chat. So we won't do any of the badge challenges, so we should just look into something that's not tagged with badge. Or we could just look into the categories over here. We have network recon, real world app, web apps, traffic analysis. Whatever you guys want, we'll just go into one of these. We have the deliberately vulnerable, and I believe these are like stuff like metasploitable and similar things. So buffering a bit in 720p. Okay, so I believe if you're saying just a bit, then it's not such a major problem. Okay, so is it attack defense or more Python challenges? What do you guys want to see? These are the deliberately vulnerable. We are not interested in these ones right now. We have a lot of categories over here. We have offensive Python, privilege escalation, reverse engineering, which I want to get into at some point. I don't know much about it. We have secure coding, Docker security might be interesting, log analysis. This would be more towards blue team stuff. REST APIs. Interesting. Okay, probably these ones: network recon, traffic analysis, web app CVEs, and real world web apps. Python? You mean Python challenges or Python from attack defense? So come again, Maestro. Python challenges or Python from attack defense? It's your call. Multiply by length. From attack defense. Let's see what they have in offensive Python here. Password cracking, file metadata, server attacks, debugging, client emulation, PCAP analysis. So this is packet capture analysis. This sounds interesting. Let's see what it is about. So we'll leave the attack defense challenge, the add a bit challenges. Create a function. This shouldn't be too hard, right? Yeah, this would be interesting, but anyways, maybe we'll get back to it. Okay, so PCAP analysis. Let's just do this. Let's just do the first one. Hopefully my Attack Defense Lab subscription is still there. I want to remind you guys that if you have questions, just let them or post them here in the chat. And also, if you want to actually learn Python for penetration testing and cybersecurity, you can actually get it through this link over here, which has a coupon applied to it. So this is gonna take you to Udemy, I guess, and you can take the course for, I believe it's like $10 or something. Yeah, $9.99. I mean this is the old times. I mean, all courses are probably $10 or €10 every time on Udemy. But anyways, let's get back to attack defense. In this exercise, so let's start it. We will use the Scapy to learn the basics of Wi-Fi frames and layers with Python. Scapy is a very powerful library capable of creating and parsing network packets. We will touch upon the following in this exercise, including Scapy in a program, loading a PCAP file into memory, understanding layers of Wi-Fi packets, finding and print the contents of layers. Please launch the labs and open the file. So this is an IPython notebook. We have the solution over here. I mean, the solution is in the solutions IPython notebook. Let's see what do we have here. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with IPython notebooks, but these are actually better ways of executing Python code within the web browser. These are actually Jupyter notebooks. So we're going to launch this notebook, and we also have the notebook with the solutions here, and we'll look at it as we go through as we solve these challenges. Let's see how many minutes we are in. Not here, but here. 36 minutes. Okay. Might not actually need Parrot OS. So I've started experimenting with Parrot as my offensive operating system. So I started using this for work instead of Kali, and I seem to like it a lot so far. Seems nice. I mean, I've been using Kali. I mean, it's probably the only pen testing distribution that I've been using so far. So using Parrot OS here is like a breath of fresh air. Yeah, it's not too different, but I like the theming of it. So anyways, proceed, shall we? It says a Wi-Fi PCAP file is present in the current working directory. Perform the following tasks. Import all Scapy modules. So how do we import all Scapy modules? This is a little bit unconventional. I believe is from scapy.all, import everything, and then you execute this cell with Shift and Enter. Let's see it also here. So let's see if we get any error. I think I have it installed. Or not. Let's go to Python minus 2.7. So from Scapy.all import everything. Import Scapy. Nope. Let's go to Python minus 3.5, 3.7, 3.6, 3.7. Let's exit. Let's do pip3 list. I think I've done this right, so as far as I remember, that's how you actually import Scapy. From Scapy all import everything. Let's say import Scapy. Yeah, so from Scapy all import everything instead of from Scapy import everything. Yeah, so I guess we've done that right. Now print the list of all supported layers by Scapy, or the ones for Wi-Fi packets. Print the list of all supported layers by Scapy. Let's see if we have Scapy installed on Parrot. Do Python from Scapy all import everything. Should be good to go. I wonder why it takes that long. Too many modules, too many methods. Yeah, so it worked. Let's see if it has autocomplete. It doesn't have autocomplete. If we import readline and then Scapy, still doesn't have autocomplete. It was PyReadline, I guess. But anyways, I digress. Print the list of all supported layers by Scapy. Let's look into the official documentation, because this is how you usually do stuff. We don't need the dependencies. All supported layers. Layers in Scapy. I'm not sure what they actually mean. Print supported layers in Scapy. Do you guys know what they mean by print the list of all supported layers? Layers starting with .11, or the ones for Wi-Fi packets. Let's see. .11 Scapy. You probably have no clue. Same as I don't. Scapy layers .11. So is it like that? Scapy .11. Is it just .11? Scapy layers .11. Let's see, help Scapy layers .11. Do we have this? Yeah, so this is probably it. I think. And how do we get the list? Let's look into the documentation. What do they actually want to print here? Print the list of all supported layers. So shall I just print, so in this case, print Scapy layers .11. Dot what? I'm not sure. Payload gas 81M. Is this what they want? .11 are the ones for Wi-Fi packets. Is this Scapy layers .11.11? Let's see. Print Scapy layers .11.11. Still, what if we do help? This is kind of dumb. Seriously. Let's see. Let's actually see what do they mean by printing the layers in the solution, and actually try to get the. I mean, there are quite a few. Not sure if we'll be able to get through all of them in this live, because I was envisioning it to be less than an hour, and so far we are. I mean, we're 46 minutes into it, so that's not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, really? So they wanted this? Seriously? So if we do in this case ls, if we do help ls, is gonna say that ls let's actually end this. So help ls list available layers. What if we do, so it's either ls Is it .11? Nope. What .11? It's probably like this, or ls. But if we do .11, it's only going to display those that are supported. So let's do ls. And then this is actually what they were mentioning, right? Okay, next, print all supported operations. So operations in Scapy, list yeah, that's actually what I did. I think that's the right one, not the way they did it. They printed the entire, all the layers, and we filtered for .11. Yeah. So operations in Scapy list. All supported operations. Print a list of all supported operations. Too bad that we don't have autocomplete. Let's see if we have autocomplete with Python 3. From Scapy, all, import all. We don't have Scapy. Sweet. So I'm actually root. Let's actually do pip3 install Scapy in the meantime, and then print the list of all supported operations. List operations Scapy. Come on, dude. I think this is the sound of a new subscriber or something. Probably. So we have some skipped frames. So I am new to Python. I want to know how much and where should I learn Python for cybersecurity. Well, as a shameless plug, if you just got here, I would actually tell you to start with my Python course, which I've linked to over here. So it's going to take you to Udemy, and I have a course on Python that helps you understand it for cybersecurity, or of course you can learn it for free on YouTube. I have a lot of videos on my channel with respect to Python programming for cybersecurity, for penetration testing, so you could check those. You also have other great channels. You have Hackersploits' channel, you have the Cyber Mentor, and both of them teach Python for cybersecurity. So these are two of the great free resources that you can actually go to learn Python for cybersecurity. And of course, you're also learning Python for cybersecurity in this live stream, because we're actually trying to learn Scapy, which is a module or a library for network traffic analysis and actually traffic manipulation, of course. So print a list of all supported operations. let's see, Scapy, let's go to this one. Hopefully that answers your question. How should I prepare for the OSCP? I would just go straight into it. I mean, you have all the resources in the course. So once you pay for the course and once you actually start for the course, the Devil Hunters, you will be receiving all the resources you need to actually be successful in the OSCP examination. Of course, it's going to be a plus if you have some pre-knowledge. So before you start the course, if you have some knowledge of Linux, of Kali Linux, for example, and not Parrot OS over here. So if you have some knowledge of Kali Linux and some general knowledge of cybersecurity, of course, networking, knowing some networking is always a plus. Hopefully that's helpful, Niranjan. Let's see. Of course, we can also, I mean, if we are in the terminal, right now we are in the Jupyter Notebook, but if we are in the terminal, we could use Scapy like this, you know. So let's see. I could simply start Scapy. So I don't actually have Scapy installed here. Let's see. I don't have it for Python 2 as well either. So pip list. I don't think it's there. But Scapy has its own interactive window. Let me see if I can install it here faster. So pip3 install Scapy. I don't think it installed in Parrot. But we could also run Scapy like this from the command line, and it's gonna run it's gonna run its interactive shell, its own interactive shell. So this is it. This is actually Scapy for Python 2, I believe. And we could simply do a help object. Do we have a dir? We don't have a dir. So anyways, lsc. I guess this is for all the operations that it supports. And ls is for the layers. So ls lists the layers and lsc lists the supported operations in Scapy. Do we have the lsc here? Let me check. lsc. And this is, let's see. So lsc displays Scapy's default commands. So let's do lsc, shift enter. These are the commands. I mean the supported operations. Okay, load the packets from given pcap into a list. And we had it somewhere over here. Reading pcap files. And our pcap file is Wi-Fi pcap. So we should simply do, let's say, pcap1 RD pcap. Was it like that? Yes. And then we have our capture file. Control V. Okay, let's do Shift Enter. This might be a big file, a bigger file. Hey, je s'appelle Groot. I would like to think I know a little bit of French, but actually it's been a while since I've spoken French. I think it was the last time I've spoken French was in high school, so I wouldn't say that I'm on par with that right now. But hopefully I'll be in the future. I want to get back into studying languages. So let's see. So this was loaded, I think it was loaded. Was it loaded into a list? How would I know? Do you guys know how do I check that? I could simply say type pcap_1 and it's going to tell me what data type is this. So this is a list. I think we've got it right. We can look into the solution, simply pick into the solution. Yeah. I think we've got it right? pcap1. Yeah. Wi-Fi traffic. Okay, print the first packet in detail, showing all the Wi-Fi layers. So, how do you access the packets? pcap1. I think we access the packets with the indices. Let's see. Let's actually pretty print it. Import pprint. Maybe it has pprint here. And then from pprint, so pprint, or we could simply say from pprint import pprint, and then we simply call pprint, which is pretty print pcap_1 0. Hopefully this is going to print it like better than this. Delete this. Shift Enter. It doesn't. I think it has the details method or the summary. I think it has the summary method. Shift Enter. What other methods does it have? It doesn't say. It has the end summary, stats summary, pcap1. Does it have pcap10 dot summary? Shift Enter. Print the first packet in detail, showing all Wi-Fi layers. Let's see. Reading packets. Packet summary. Yeah, but in this case we need we only need the first packet. So if I simply do pcap1 dot summary, we are getting all the packets. What if I do summary this? Still is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is pcap, I believe 0.summary, and would this be it? I would like to think so. Let's see. It only needs this, so it only needed without the summary. Yeah, it needed the entire details of the packet, like we did in the first place. Print a layout format of the radio tap header. What do they want to say with that? Why don't I use libpcap? Because the exercise wants us to actually work with Scapy. So in this case, we are understanding Wi-Fi packets with Scapy. So we're not using libcap. Okay, Amir? Yeah, I'm actually gonna try to speak like slower so that you would understand. Let's see how many minutes we are in. So we're already 1 hour in. Okay. Sure, Amir, no problem. Let's keep on doing so. These are 15. I believe they are 15 tasks. Let's actually do a couple of more. So print a layout format of the radio tap header. Layout format. Damn, what do they want to say by that? Let's see. Layout format Scapy. Radio tap. So let's do pcap 1 0 dot summary. What is the layout format? Any of you guys know what they are talking about here? Let's search the doc. I haven't been working too much with Scapy either. Scapy packet. Layout, format, 24 results. Okay, let's take a peek into the solution. Print the layout format of the radio tab header. So that's a simple ls radio tab. Let's see what that gives us. ls is the list command. So radio tab, I'm cheating here. This is the layout format. So we've learned something new. How do you print it? Using the ls command. The layout format of the .11, it's probably going to be ls.11. Shift enter. Okay. Networking is really interesting, guys. Print the layout format of the beacon. So it's probably, I mean, this is redundant. .11 beacon. We might actually finish this one. Why do they simply want us to repeat the command? It's not how you actually learn. So, is it like that? ls.11, ls.11 beacon, ls.11 ELT. Print only the Wi-Fi layer from the loaded packet. Okay, let's try to do this one ourselves. Hello Anonymous, welcome aboard. Also guys, tell me once again, keep me updated whether or not the stream comes through well enough, if you're hearing me well, if the quality, the sound quality is well, if there's no buffering, because I want to know. Maybe the fact that I have Parrot security opened up as well might influence a little bit the quality of the stream, but please keep me updated with whether or not the stream comes through like good enough in terms of quality. So let's try to finish this thing here. Print only the Wi-Fi layer from the loaded packet. So we have the pack 1. Was it PK? What was it? PCAP 1. How would you print the Wi-Fi layer? Like that? I don't think so. No. Let's see. Scapy layer. Scapy layer. So they only need the Wi-Fi layer from the loaded packet. The loaded packet was let's see. Can we do an ls pcap underscore 1? Not a packet class or name. Pcap underscore 1 dot Wi-Fi. No. Wi-Fi layer Scapy. Let's see. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if this is what we're actually looking for. Okay. In the next live stream, so Anonymous says that the quality is good, but sometimes it's lagging. In the next live stream, I'm actually gonna try to, or I could simply try to stop this machine right now, save the machine state, and maybe that's gonna improve the quality somehow. How many of us are here right now? So we have 7 of you guys, and we're live for over an hour. Let's just stick to it just a little bit more. Once again, if you have questions, leave them in the chat and I'm gonna try to answer them, while I'm actually trying to figure out how to use Scapy with Python here. So we are being asked to print only the Wi-Fi layer from the loaded packet. We have pcap1. We don't actually... Let's do an end summary. Let's do show as a method, and it dumps the entire packet. This is all Wi-Fi, and it's still dumping, so there's a lot of information in there. Okay. Scapy cheat sheet. That might help us. 2016 from Sans. Okay, so Abhishek, hi, as an Android developer, where should I start in cybersecurity, specifically in mobile and web app penetration testing? Well, two of the great resources. I mean, since you're an Android developer, and I would say that, hello Anon, I would say that you want to go with mobile first. You could simply take the um, mobile app hackers handbook. I think it's by the feet stuttered. So mobile app hackers handbook. Yeah, this one. So the mobile application hackers handbook would be a good reference. No, it's not by the feet stuttered. So this one, 2015, which is, it's good. It's the first edition. Do they have a second edition as well? Or since you were saying that you're Android, this one is from 2014. Do they have a second edition as well? Anyways, either one of these two, and of course For web application penetration testing, I would highly recommend that you go for Web App Hacker's Handbook by Defeat Stuttered, which I've talked about it in one of my previous videos. So that's actually, where is it? This one. So this is, even though this book is from 2011, as you can see, so September 27, 2011, I would say it's a still really good reference for anyone who's starting in web application hacking. If we look into the contents, this is like it's kind of like a Bible. I mean, it's really thick. I have the paperback version of this book, and I bought it in London last year, or was it this year, I guess. And it's like a freaking 3-pound book, really heavy. It's like 800 or 900 pages, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, so look, 800 pages. So yeah, definitely go with that, Abhishek. Now let's go back to our Scapy thing here. Cheat sheet. Okay, maybe this is what we're actually looking for. So SR is for sending packets. Where's SR? SR, SRP. We don't need to write a packet. We just need to read a packet. Scapy basics. Okay, so some key layers are ARP IP IPv6. Okay. Packet summary, packet show. Packet IP. So we are being requested only the Wi-Fi layers. Let's see if we have pcap1 Wi-Fi. Would it work? Am I embarrassing myself here? Yeah, so name Wi-Fi is not defined. What about the IP layer? Okay. What does the IP layer have? Does it have something? Let's go to show. Does it have show? Summary. Anything? Let's peek into the solutions. Print only the Wi-Fi layer from the loaded packet. So it's actually the payload. So it's our pcap1 dot payload. Print only the Wi-Fi layer. List object has no attribute payload. Why? Because we've instantiated it. pkt. Of course, oh man. Seriously, am I that dumb? So print the first packet in detail. So our first packet let's say here, no, let's just leave it the way it was. So my mistake here was that I didn't set pcap10 to a variable. So let's say first pkt equals pcap10. Okay, shift enter. Alright, and then let's go back here and then say first pkt dot payload. What else do we have for the first pkt? We have a lot of stuff, a lot of methods. We can call all of these if we want. We can look at the payload. What else? Wireline, show summary. Let's go to payload as we've been instructed, and we get this, the Wi-Fi layer. We need the Wi-Fi beacon layer from the loaded packet, which was the .11 beacon. How do we get that? You're welcome, Abhishek. Anonymous, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna leave this live on the channel as a video. I might have to actually edit it a little bit. We're already 1 hour and 25 minutes. I don't know. I know very basics of networking, so I'm gonna try to actually get back. So you guys keep asking the questions in the chat, and I'm gonna try to go through. Let's see. How many do we have? 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'm gonna try to go through one of these and then answer some of your questions, even though this was intended to only be just 1 hour. But anyways, print only the Wi-Fi beacon layer. .11 beacon. We have .11 beacon. .11 beacon. First PKT. Would this work? Is it like this? Print only the Wi-Fi beacon. So this is the solution file. Packet payload payload. Or is it the same answer? Let's see. Maybe not. So we print the Wi-Fi beacon layer by doing first PKT payload and then payload again. Print only the first information element layer from the loaded packet. First information element layer. First PKT first. First information element layer. Is that what they want? Print only the first information. Seriously? Packet payload, payload, payload. So packet payload, payload, payload. Look, it still has more payloads. So shift enter. Print the SSID name from the packet. Let's see. So this, there, can we access it like this? We cannot. What about like this? Still not. It's probably 0, 1, no, 0, still 0, 0, 0, probably not. Zero dot 11. I'm not sure how the parsing goes with these. Dot 11 ELT. I'm not actually sure how they parse this string. What if I do dot info? Yeah. So if I do dot ID, dot SSID, so I said info, and then I will say dot ID, ID 0, SSID, nothing. So it's probably print the SSID name from the packet. SSID name, this, home network, SSID name, yeah, so is this info? Let's see. Print the SSID name. Yeah, packet payload, payload info. I actually accessed it differently, but it's like still the same thing. Okay, I'm gonna get into these guys in a minute here. Alright, let's go back to our Scapy thing. Let me know, guys, if you want to see more networking with Python for cybersecurity. If you like these challenges, we could actually go into more attack defense challenges. This was not actually an attacking challenge, but more like a sort of informational or actually a learning challenge. A challenge in which we learn how to work with Scapy as a network tool. Scapy is actually the Swiss Army knife of networking. Let's actually see if I'm right. Scapy, Swiss Army. Let's see. Or not. Which one is the Swiss Army? Do you guys know which is the Swiss Army knife of networking? Let's see. Make a guess. Of course, Yoka. It's Netcat. So Swiss Army knife of networking is Netcat. Good job, Yoka. Alright, so print the beacon layer of the packet by using getLayer function. So let's see. First packet, do we have the get layer? Yeah, we have the get layer. What else? Takes two arguments. Let's do Control X, help, and see what are the arguments of the get layer. Damn it. CLS class probably, and NB. What's the NB? What's the get layer? Get layer. This one. So we're learning Scapy here. For those of you guys who've come to the stream later. Okay. Get layer returns the numbered layer that is an instance of class matching FLT values. What the hell is this? Print the beacon layer of the packet. Wi-Fi layer, Wi-Fi beacon layer. What if we do this? Get layer. So first underscore packet payload like that. One more time, payload to get to the beacon layer, I guess, and then get layer. But it's not gonna work because it needs two arguments. What's the second argument would be NB1, NB equals 1. Like that. And b equals 1 to given. So what is wrong there? I have too many things opened up here. So let's look into their get layer .11 beacon. So we have the packet. And they want us, so packet get layer, we use the get layer method and then .11 beacon. This would probably be the class. How to check if beacon layer is present in a packet? You would say, let's see, type if the type equals none, I would say that if the type equals none, maybe the dot beacon layer is not present. But what is the answer? So there's a method for that, has layer. So first, we're doing a lot of cheating here. So first packet, we have the has layer, and then we have the type of layer that we're actually asking it for, and it's gonna say true or false. Shift enter. It also has dot 11. Does it have? No. Okay, so the answer was this one. Alright, so I guess this is for understanding Wi-Fi packets with Scapy. This was kind of like passive, trying to learn Scapy by actually accessing its methods. Of course, I would read the documentation for more information on how to use Scapy. And it seems that Scapy also has been installed on my Windows here. So if I run Scapy, I should get actually into a Scapy console, and then we could do help ls. I mean, I could instantiate packets here, so I could follow the documentation and try to actually do exercises from the documentation here inside the Scapy IPython notebook, which is instantiated here. I think this shell is probably a Python notebook, I guess. But anyways, I digress. So more information about Scapy on its official documentation here. And here on attack defense, let's actually stop this lab. There's no solution because we've looked into the solutions. Okay. Close this. We could mark this as completed, and then we could go back to see other challenges in the offensive Python. Let's actually close this one as well. Analyzing HTTP with PyShark. This would be interesting. And then we have Scapy basics, PyShark and Scapy. I think all of these are interesting because they combine Python with packet analysis, which is more often than not a job for blue teamers as they analyze packets. So you could also analyze, of course, packets with Wireshark, but it's like, I would say it's more fun to actually do it using to do it programmatically using Python. So if you guys are interested, we could go into one of these others in the next live session. Of course, we're going to start with the obligatory Python challenges from Adabit, and thereafter we could do one of these. What do you say? Let me know here in the chat. So let me just answer one or two more questions, and then I'm gonna call it tonight, because this has been already like close to 2 hours. Close to 2 hours here. So very basic of networking. What are some good references to learn networking? So one of the best courses that I remember for networking was from Cybery, which was taught by Leo Dredger. But I don't think that course is still available right now. I think it was taken off or taken out or removed from the Cybery website. But we could look into it. So let me actually see. Leo Dredger. Was it networking course? Leo Dredger. Let's see. This was back in the days when they started with Cybery, so I guess it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was one of the very first courses on Cybery, and it was really, really insightful. It was like, I don't know, maybe 30 hours of pure networking, and I felt that I've learned a lot by going through that course. I don't think it's still available. Yeah. Too bad. Too bad. Let's see over here. Let's also look into the catalog. Computer security. Let's look into networking. See what they have for free here. Course. $41. These are like, I mean, back in the days, they had really, really good courses on Cybery. And now you see these courses, 41 minutes. Is this a micro course or what? Anyways, I am not able to provide you with a really good networking course, but I might do a video on it if you guys are interested. Which programming language is better for cybersecurity, C or Python? Well, Python has a lot of libraries that helps you in cybersecurity. As you've seen, Scapy, you have the sockets library, you have libraries for doing all sorts of stuff, like you have the nmap library in Python. You also have the recon ng, which is a tool for open source intelligence. So there are a lot of tools that are written in Python, and there are a lot of libraries that work with Python. So of course, it's much more easier and convenient to work with Python for cybersecurity than it is to work with C. Of course, you could also write C stuff in Python by using the CPython module. So the CPython, I think. So Yeah. Okay, guys, so I have to call it a day or a night because as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, you should be able to see it's 11:51 p.m. and I do have to wake up early on a Saturday, so I'm gonna have to call it a day and we're gonna do another live one pretty soon if you guys are interested. I'm not sure about quantum AI, but I'm gonna look into it. So, okay, guys, that was it. I will be seeing you soon.